Hey guys, I recorded this video once before and I started thinking about it and I think I just want to do my content differently and I just want to do a lot of things in my life differently, so I'm just gonna sit down and talk and sketch. I've already sketched a little bit. I want to make an Instagram post, but I'm not really forcing myself to be super creative about what I'm making. I'm just drawing things that come to mind. So stick around if you want to listen to me talk. I'll talk a little bit about what I've been doing, where I've been. I'll base it off of the old video outline that I had, but oh my god, my notes app recently, every time I open it, it closes itself. It's so annoying. I don't understand. Okay. So recently I got a 40-hour-a-week job, and that's great because that's what I wanted. That's what I was manifesting. That's what I was dreaming and hoping for, and now I finally have it. And now I realize, wow, I really want to do my business full-time. I work 4 days a week, which is great for a full-time job. So that means that I end up working 40 hours in 4 days. So I do 10-hour days. It just sucks a little bit because I've just had to come to terms with not being able to do everything that I want to do in a single day. I want to spend at least 2 to 3 hours on my business. I want to spend at least an hour or two on myself, whether that's just doing stuff for myself and watching a show, stuff like that. I want to be able to eat dinner and not make the same quick meal every single day or have to spend one whole day prepping meals for the entire week, but I can't do that. I have a 3-hour drive a day, so a half an hour there, well, not a half an hour and a half there, an hour and a half back to where I'm currently living, so it ends up being 3 hours, which is a lot. It's a lot on my body, it's a lot on me. So I've just been trying to come to terms over the past couple of weeks that I can't do everything I want to in a day. I get home around 7:30 and I get up at like 5:30 in the morning. And when I get home, I have to be in bed by around 9 to 9:30. So I have really enough time to relax for a little bit, make some dinner, do my skincare, talk to my boyfriend, and then go to sleep. It feels like there's not enough time for me to do anything for my business because I feel like I need at least an hour to sit down and do anything. And then a part of me is just like, I'm just making excuses of why I can't do it. And trust me, I want to. It's what I want to do full time. So on the weekends, Friday through Sunday, that's what I'm doing. Today happens to be Labor Day, so, I'm doing it today too. But even on days off like this is what I'm doing. I'm doing stuff for my small business, but I'm also doing stuff for myself. And I think just figuring out the balance of it all has really put a lot of stress onto me, and because I've put so much stress onto myself that I have to be doing all of this every single day or else everything's gonna fail. And I've talked about this in the past, but my business has not really been doing that well, but it's not going to stop me from keeping going and pushing all my dreams, because there have just been so many people, like, you wouldn't understand the amount of people that, even though they don't know that I haven't made a single sale, I sounded kind of resentful when I said that, but they don't know that I haven't made a single sale since around like December of last year. They don't know that, but every single time that I tell someone that I have a small business, they commend me for doing it. They say that they wish they would have had the guts and the courage to do the same thing, and that that they're proud of me. And it's really, really validating. Like, that is super validating to hear when you're like, I haven't made a single sale. I'm spending so much money a month, I feel like, to keep my website up. And then I feel like I'm not getting anything monetarily out of it. I'm getting a lot out of it otherwise, because even though I'm not the best at content creation, stuff like what I'm doing right now, which is sketching, that is so much fun for me. So And sometimes making the little collages that I make is super fun. And just, there's a lot of things like YouTube as well. I love making videos, I love editing videos. All of that is super fun for me as well. So I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I get a lot of pleasure out of it, but I just haven't been getting a lot of monetary out of it. And if I'm to continue, then I'm going to have to get at least a little bit of monetary out of it. It just sucks because I know that there's a really big sentiment online, and I can totally understand why, but it's that people are so tired of constantly getting products shoved in their faces. And don't get me wrong, I am too. I feel like every time I go on Instagram, and this is also because I only go on my business Instagram, but even when I go on my personal one, it's like I'm constantly being bombarded by ads, and I don't even know they're ads. Or I'm not on TikTok, but I've heard about people, just getting bombarded by people being like, go to my Amazon storefront, go to my TikTok shop, this is linked on there, and trying to get money out of everybody. And I'm not trying to get money out of people, even though essentially that is what I'm doing, but I'm trying to give them like a product that I love, that I've handmade and created. I'm not trying to send you to Amazon. I'm not trying to, get a commission off of something. But it's so hard. When I first started, thought it was gonna be so easy to like blow up. Like, honestly. Like, I've done YouTube before, and I was like, okay, I understand why I haven't blown up on YouTube. Like, it's my personality. And that's what it is. And I've just come to the realization into the fact that it's vibes. It's really not your personality. I mean, it is. But it's also what you're trying to sell people, and if they're actually interested in that or not. And there's a lot of times that you might be interested in something, and somebody else would be interested in it too, but you just haven't found the right niche or the right people. And I feel like for me, marketing is my hardest thing to do. It feels like that's what I have the most problems with, and is the most difficult thing for me to do. But I'm trying to work past that and trying to get past that, because used to, I posted on Instagram. I was very strict. It was for I did this for 2 months, I think, and this was just recently too. So it's September 2nd. I did this last month, so the month of August and the month of July, and once I got my full-time job, I had to change up my schedule a lot, but I would post on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And on Sunday, I would post a reel. On Monday, I would post a story post. On Wednesday, I would post a reel, and then on Friday, I'd post a story post. So it was every other time I was posting, it was a reel, story post, reel, story post. I liked doing the story posts a lot better because it felt so much less time that I had to put together, but I liked the editing aspect of the reels, and I reached a lot more people. I feel like because of that, I've actually seen, now it's not very many because a lot of the people who like my posts and watch my stuff are people who already follow me, but I've seen a lot more people like my posts and like my stuff who don't follow me, or who do follow me and haven't interacted with me in a while. I just haven't been able to get past having I've had 51 followers. Well, more like 50, because I had a friend follow me recently because I was like, yeah, I have a small business, so she wouldn't follow me. But before that, I've been at 50 followers since probably last November, and that's not me complaining. That's just me being confused at what I need to do and what I feel like I've been doing wrong, because it's what do I need to do differently than what I've been doing? Because to be honest, if this wasn't a business that I'm trying to be successful at, I wouldn't care. And I don't care. I wouldn't even be on Instagram if I didn't have a business. I think I've said this before. I wouldn't even be on social media if I didn't have a business. It's only because I want to create things that I'm on social media. And so I wouldn't care about the numbers. I wouldn't care about how many likes I get and who's liking my posts and how many followers I have and blah, 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 blah. because I internally, not internally, but first and foremost don't. It just, you have to when you have a business, because that's what you're relying on, is people looking at your posts and new people finding you. And in the beginning too, I wasn't really creating products and art that was really true to me. I was just creating something that I thought would be popular and sell, and then ended up not. And then I was like, okay, so this is obviously not the road I should go down, trying to people please, because, you know, honestly, that's really never worked for me. That's only bitten me in the ass and done me no favors. So I should pivot, and that's what I did, and that's what I am doing. So hopefully I'll be able to sell like one thing, even if it's to somebody I know. Hopefully I'll be able to sell one thing for my collection that I'm coming out with. I made star muffs, which I sold last year, but instead of them being tie around the neck, they just slip onto your ears. And I'm selling apple hats, little hats that have like stems and a leaf that are like apple colors. And then I'm gonna be selling scarves that I was selling last year, and then finishing up a scarf sometime when I'm done like with the apple hats completely. And yeah, I'm currently doing some like personal projects and stuff, because I feel like I haven't done a lot for me, and I don't want to take the fun out of crocheting and sewing, because if that happens, then I won't want to do it for a business. And so sometimes I have to be selfish in that way and do it for myself. I mean, essentially that's what I'm doing all of this for, it's just for me. But I have to, oh fuck, did I just fuck that up? I think I did. It's okay. But I have to essentially do all of this for myself, because if I'm not, oh my god, I just fucked it up again. It's fine. Because if I'm not doing it for myself, then who am I really doing it for? Oh, that was so cute, and now I just fucked it up. It's fine. I'll just deal with it, you know? Okay. But I picked up the black instead of the blue. And my blue is like dark enough that they like look the same. So I'm just gonna blend that out. It won't be as cute as I wanted it to be up there, but it'll be fine. It won't be that big a deal. Kind of symbolic. It's like, it's a little cloud that I'm drawing. It's like a black spot that I put in the cloud by accident, so. Anyways, so another thing, just talking about some business stuff, it just takes a lot of time to make products. Like for my star muffs, it takes about 2.5 hours to make a single pair of star muffs, which is a lot compared to if I were to manufacture it. Then I might take 2.5 hours designing the item and talking with a manufacturer and tweaking and getting everything right. But because I want to stay handmade, at least for now until I can get some more funds, or literally just have a successful business where I'm actually making sales, I'm not going to manufacture anything, because I don't want to put myself into like a little hole, essentially. So because of that, all of my creation and processing times and all that kind of stuff is super high, and it feels like, oh, it was super sharp, and then it just broke. I just broke it off. It's fine. Okay. It feels like super counterproductive sometimes. And this is what I'm talking about, where I come home and then I feel like I can't start anything. Because if I start something, I'm like literally in the middle of it. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll leave that for next time. But me, I want to finish it. Like, I'm a type of person that when I start something, I want to finish it. When I start a project, even if I work on it for multiple days, like, I'm only working on that project for multiple days. Unless I get, like, super passionate about something else and then it bombards, but then I always go back to the thing I was doing before. I'm like, I love completing things. I'm a checklist person. I love checking things off my checklist. Okay, this was a little sketch I did. As you can see, that really dark spot is where I accidentally put the black. It's okay. It's fine. But it takes me so long to make a product, and don't get me wrong, I'm having fun the whole time I'm making it. I'm really enjoying the process and I love what I do, but from a business standpoint, it's not really effective to take 2.5 hours to make one product, and that's without taking a break. That's like me like working like very like kind of fast and not going at like that's me like going at like a pace that is not like my, you know, when you have like a walking pace and you're just, this is my normal walk. That is like when I'm like jogging or speed walking is what I basically have to do to get it done in 2.5 hours. And there's sometimes where you get fatigued halfway through, or you just don't feel as motivated and you're like, oh my gosh. And you wear yourself out so much faster because you're forcing and pushing yourself so hard. And then that's when it becomes unfun, and that's not what I want at all. But after this little fall cycle, I'm hoping to get into more markets next year, because for this fall/winter time, I haven't really been able to get into any, either because I've applied to 3 of them and none of them have replied to me back, which is fine. Maybe I didn't look if some of them are like, you know, we'll reply to you in October or something. So I'm still holding out on those, but there's a lot of them now that I can't go to because I've made plans, because I haven't been accepted into them. And so I made plans to do other things. So we'll just see if I get accepted into any, but I'm planning on doing a lot more during the springtime. And for my work, it's a lot of seasonal work. And so the whole month of January and the last 2 weeks of December, I'm not at work. Like, I'm like laid off. So I have a lot of time essentially, and I know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working on my spring collection, which I've already planned the whole thing out because I just want to pivot. Like, I feel like I'm pivoting so hard because I'm pivoting into myself instead of doing what other people expect of me, or what I feel like others expect of me, or what I feel like others want from me. I'm just pivoting and doing what I want and making cute things. And so I have a lot of really fucking cool ideas. Just like this fall winter collection is like the beginning of the pivot. And then once I get into my spring, and then because I'm doing like spring collection, and then I'll release more in the summertime, but keep all of those items for spring summer. They'll just be released at different times, just so I have more stuff on my website, yada yada yada, business stuff, you know, because that was the feedback that I got. It was like, oh, you don't have very many things on your website, and it was like, yeah, I know. So, and I'm gonna keep stuff up like all year round. I don't know what I'm really gonna do, honestly, for the angelic ocean stuff. I really want to do a revamp of some of the things, and I need to repurpose the fabric, so I need to figure out something to do with the fabric. I have a couple ideas, but I don't really have anything set in stone as of right now. But I feel like it's the beginning of the pivot, and then the spring summer collection is the full pivot into the direction that I actually want to be heading. So, but with that, I've figured out some products that aren't going to take me as much time, and I'm focusing again more on sewing, because when I switched from Etsy to having a Shopify store, my main thing that I wanted to do was do more sewing instead of crochet and knit, because I know how much time crochet and knit takes, and more time means more money that the consumer has to pay for, because I'm spending more time and my time is worth something. And so it just turns into like, oh, it should be this much, and I feel really bad charging that, so I'm just going to charge this price. And with sewing, it takes me a lot less time. If you didn't know, it's what I went to school for. That does not mean that I'm super proficient at it. That doesn't mean that I'm super fast and really great at it. But sewing in general just takes less time than crochet and knit does, especially knitting. Knitting for me is like, takes forever, but honestly, I think I want to knit something soon, which is wild because I haven't wanted to knit anything in about a year. But anyways, sewing just takes so much less time, and I think I want to get away a little bit from making clothing, because I just realized with making my sand dollar vest for my angelic ocean collection during the summer of this year, that making patterns is what takes the most time, and it honestly takes a lot of the fun out of it for me. Drafting the pattern, like I do a combination of draping and then, oh my gosh, excuse me, and then flat pattern. And draping is really fun, and then putting it into flat pattern, it's the scaling up and scaling down and knowing what points you need to scale up and scale down. And I feel like I don't want to really make, I'm like torn on this. I want to make one-of-a-kind pieces, but then that means they're fit to my body shape, and not everyone is my body shape. I'm like typically a medium to a small, sometimes an extra small if things run large. Like, you know, I'm like an extra small to a medium, but more a medium. Not everyone is like that. I know there's a larger majority of people who are smalls to medium, but not everyone is. There are people who are extra extra smalls. There are people who are extra large, extra extra large. Like, and I wouldn't be catering to them at all. They might like my stuff, but never be able to buy it if it's one of a kind and I'm just fitting it to myself. And so I feel like in order to combat that for now, and to combat how long a pattern takes, I'm combining them together and I'm going to be upcycling pieces. And so, and it like, that conflicts in my head a little bit, because then I feel like I'm not really creating the piece. I'm just taking this Fruit of the Loom shirt and then sewing something on top of it, but the only thing I actually made was the decal on top. I didn't make the actual shirt. And it's just like, I feel like it's just this thing that I just felt in school. It was like, if you're not making all of it, you're not the designer kind of thing. I don't know. I feel like it's in a mindset I need to get out of, because being able to do more, and then I could have all of these custom one-of-a-kind pieces. They could all be in the same, like, they're technically all one of a kind. They could literally be the same pattern over, like, the same, like, motif in the middle or something over and over again. But then I can have an extra small to an extra large, like one shirt in all of them, and then just put this motif that I've created on all of them, so everybody of every size can get one, can have one if they want one. And so I'm not limiting it, because, you know, there's some crochet and knit workers, and this is not a diss at all. I totally understand why they do this, but when they create one-of-a-kind custom knit and crochet pieces, they fit it to themselves, because then they know it will fit someone. But that leaves people who are smaller than them or who are bigger than them out of the question. It's only people who are this height, this size, and these measurements are close to it, and that's the only people who can buy my stuff. And I don't want to limit anyone. I don't want to, because I just feel like I get it in crochet and knit, but it just feels very inclusive. You have to be a certain size and a certain height. Even if you like my clothes, even if you like my stuff, you have to be a certain way to be able to actually wear them. Especially if they don't sell patterns. If they sell patterns and it's different when they sell a pattern of something and then they make it to sell online, and they make it in like a size, or they make it a size up or a size down because they know how to do that because of the pattern. That's different. Or they literally just make it in their size and they're like, I didn't like this as much as I thought that I would, so I'm just gonna sell it. It's different when they have the pattern and the pattern is inclusive. It's different. It's different than just, I don't know how to make patterns and I'm not going to, and I'm just gonna make this in my size and then sell it, and that works for some people. But I just want to be as inclusive as possible, because I know what it feels like, not clothing wise, because I've been like, you know, a mainstream basic size my whole life, but in other words, I know what it feels like to feel excluded and to be excluded, and I don't want to do that to anyone, because that sucks, that hurts, and that sucks. So I think I've talked about, I think I've talked about everything, but the last thing on my start to do section, which is what I've been talking about, is I really want to pivot my brand, and I don't even really like calling it a brand, even though that's what it is, and I don't like calling it like my side hustle, because I want it to be my main thing. I don't know, my art company. I don't know. Like, I don't really like calling it my brand because then it just doesn't feel like it's a part of me. It doesn't feel like it's like a living, breathing thing. It feels like it's stagnant. It feels like it's so one-sided and inhuman. But what I'm trying to do is uniquely human. I don't know. Anyways. And if I call it Genesis, it's just like I'm calling it myself because that's who I named it after. Which is, I'll just talk about a couple things then. Going off my first point, I'm just gonna call it a brand for brand's sake, okay? I want to pivot into, there's a lot of pivoting, but I want to pivot into from just being an apparel brand to being more lifestyle. Like when I imagine in my future opening up my very first store, which is something that's gonna happen, so stay tuned, but opening up my first store, I don't just see clothing. Yes, I do see clothing, but I see bags and accessories to clothing, but I also see stationery. I love, love, love stationery. Like stickers and pens and notebooks and sticky notes and notepads. And I see candles. I love, love, love candles. Or things like water bottles or like mouse pads or coasters. Even like, I'm just like looking around to see what I see. Like just things like trinkets as well. Love a good trinket. Trinkets as in like, you know, like cute little collectible dolls like the Sunny Angels or what are they called? They're like calico critters. I think that's what they're called. But I really like Sunny Angels, so I don't know. Anyway, the green guys, I don't know what that's called either. But and I like, you know, I picture like plant holders, I picture like art prints, I picture all of this stuff. Postcards. I want to do postcards so bad. Like stickers and stuff, you know. Like I picture all of this, and that's not just an apparel brand. That's like immersing yourself in like a lifestyle, like an aesthetic for your life. And I'm not expecting, you know, oh my gosh, once you buy one thing, you want to buy it all. I mean, hopefully, because that's the kind of thing for a lifestyle brand is like, once you buy one, you want to buy it all. But I want to pivot into more doing that because I don't want, like I said, I just don't want to get burnt out of one creative avenue and then feel like I can't do anything else because I haven't done it before in my brand, and my brand's only an apparel brand. And so that's why I'm also thinking, second point, of changing my brand name, because currently it's genesisapparel.shop. So I'm thinking of changing it from my name completely. I want to be the face of it, but I don't want my name to be like the name of the brand. Also because if you look up Genesis Apparel, I think it's a Korean brand that sells clothing as well. That comes up. So I want to be the one on the, you know, when you type it in, SEO keywords, when you type it in on the search bar, I want to be the first thing that comes up when you type in Genesis Apparel. You don't have to put Genesis Apparel shop. And so, and this is like a year in the making, like, what I mean a year in the making, like in the future, in a year, I'll probably be changing my name because I have business cards that I need to like get rid of. I have other things with my, you know, Genesis on it that I need to like skedaddle. Basically, I need to sell things before I change my brand name, or I get to a point where that stuff doesn't matter, even though I'd feel horrible about wasting it. But it gets to a point where it's like, okay, it's more about the money that I've spent on certain things, so I need to like use them and use them up before I change my brand name. And also, then I change my domain name, like my website name. It would be like blah 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 .shop still. And then I change my Instagram. And then also just like, you know, deep business things. I'd have to go in and change my name under my EIN number and stuff like that. So it's like, it's way far in the future. I've thought of a name, but knowing myself, I need to sit on an idea for months and months and months, something like that is big, until I'm like, okay, like solidified it in my mind, because I've done things where I've just made like rash decisions. Like I've tried to start a slime business and it was a very rash, quick decision, and I spent all this money just to realize that it's a lot. Like it's a lot of money to do slime. It's a lot of money and time to creatively think of like the ideas, and then you have to purchase every little thing. Like, and it was only honestly because of that it lost my interest in, I love slime and I love slime videos, but it lost my interest like almost completely in slime because my business before it even started failed. And because I put too much money into it to begin with, and then it was like, oh, this is not for me. Like, I'm trying to run 2 businesses, and the first one isn't even, like, super, like, even successful, like, on a even small scale. So, like, why am I trying to do this? But yeah, so I just need to think on it for a while, because I know myself, and sometimes I am the most logical person and will wait forever to make a decision, and then other times I am the most illogical person and will just make a decision super quick and like not rationalize it at all, like boop, and then I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have actually done that. So like with my business cards this time, I wish I would have waited, even like if I would have waited to order business cards even 2 weeks, or yeah, like 2-3 weeks, because I think after I ordered these business cards, I'm super happy with them. I love them. But I think around 2 weeks later, I changed my brand colors. And so my brand colors are no longer these like ocean blue. They're more fall colors, but I'm pivoting towards that because those are colors that I wear a lot during my everyday. They're colors that I feel like can take me a lot farther than just like, if you look at my business cards, it's not, I feel like they're not diverse enough in color. Like, you know, you have the different shades of blue, but that's it. And it feels, it's just blue. With my new brand colors, I have, you know, more earth tones with the, what is that called? The cream color, and then a dark brown, but then you have that pop with red. And so it's to, you know, you have that calmness and that level of, like, level-headedness, I feel like, and colors that a lot of people wear and a lot of people like, and red is like a hit or miss sometimes, but it's that pop of color on top of all of that, when this is just like a, you know, colors that are all very similar and nothing really stands out from them. Literally what stands out here is the black, and that's not what I was trying to go for. I love this logo, but I felt like it was just too sharp. So I'm gonna redo this. I redid my logo a little bit. It's honestly just like a placeholder logo. I liked it. I drew it in about 30 seconds, and I was like, wow, I love that. And I was like, damn, I literally spent months creating this logo, and I still love this logo. I just want to soften the edges, so like round them out more, and do like a little bit more looking like I drew it instead of like super like crisp Photoshop point thing. So I mean, here's the back too, cute. I also want to do something a little bit different because the text is super small on these as well. I feel like I confined myself to a really small space, but I also just want to do something more artsy. Like, I want to create like a little backdrop and then put my logo on top of it. Like, you know, I have a little bit more creative idea. Don't get me wrong, these are super cute, and I will be giving these out until they are completely gone. But if I would have waited like 2 more weeks and sat on it even just a little bit longer than I had already sat on it, then I would have business cards that match my new aesthetic. But I digress. It's really not that big of a deal. I mean, no one's really buying my stuff anyway, so no one really knows. But yeah, so this is just some things I wanted to talk about. I really just mainly want to talk about like why I've been gone from YouTube, because I love doing YouTube. I just needed to figure out adjustments in my schedule and figure out how to live my life as it is now, so that I'm able to do everything I want to do in a week and also work at the same time. I've been listening to a lot more audiobooks now as well. So if you have an audiobook suggestion, please leave it down in the comments. If you have any markets that are in the state of Indiana, anywhere in the state of Indiana, I would love to hear, you know, just send me like a Facebook link. Actually, maybe not send me a Facebook link because for some reason my account got suspended because it said I wasn't a real person. I don't know, it was weird. But send me, if you want to, still send me a Facebook link because I can find it. But send me links, send me like anything that you see, anything that you think would be helpful if you want to. Anything would be super appreciated. But yeah, I felt really, really lost, and I just needed to find myself again, and now I'm back. It was like a month of like so much pressure and so much stress that I put on myself, and it was honestly for really no reason. It was for like, you know, I felt like I needed to keep doing all of these things, but I needed to lessen my expectations and do what I can actually do. Like, you know, I'm now doing a schedule where I post twice a week, and if I post a reel, I post a reel. If I don't, I don't. And I'm not going to pressure myself because it just takes the fun out of it, and I'm trying to make social media fun again. Because I used to love social media. I won't even get into it. I was trying to end the video, but thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Yeah, if you want to follow me on Instagram, or if you want to check out my shop, all of that stuff is linked in the description always. Right now my shop is locked because I didn't do, oh my gosh, for my pre-order for my Star Muffs, I didn't sell a single Star Muff on my pre-order, even though on my Instagram post I was like, thank you for everyone who, you know, bought or was interested, blah blah blah. Nobody did, and that's okay. I just wanted to like, fake it till you make it. I just wanted to fake it a little bit, just to like, I guess make myself feel better. But because of that, I just wanted to like close my shop until September, which is probably not a wise choice, but I'm not. And maybe I'll open up my shop, or I don't know, I probably won't. I'll just stick to my original date of when I'm planning my launch, because I have like photo shoots and stuff that need to be done and all this other stuff. So anyways, I digress. If you want to follow me on Instagram or look at my website, even though it is locked, you can do that. They're always in the description. I really appreciate you for being here and for listening to me ramble. And yeah, I'm gonna finish this last little bit of my last sketch and then show you what all that I did, and then the video will actually end instead of me just being like bye 6,000 times. It's such a Midwestern thing, like seriously, like look at the Midwest goodbye. If you know, you know, it's you saying bye 6 times and then finally leaving. So these were my little sketches. I made this before. This is from a oh my god, let me think on the name. Biabadooby. You know, Biabadooby. Anyways, this is from the song. Take a bite. It's so good. Anyways, watch me get embarrassed and hide behind my notebook. And then I did this one, which I don't really like what I did to the lettering, because you can't really read it that well, but it looks cool otherwise. And then this cute little butterfly. So you'll probably see a couple of these maybe, or all of them or something. I don't know. I'm gonna keep sketching more, but you'll see something on my Instagram related to that, because I'm posting it for my birthday post. I'll be 23. Slay! But yeah. Anyways, goodbye. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.